South Africa, the culture of barbecue or braai is so revered that a day is set aside on the national calendar to honour the tradition. It's a time to be together and celebrate the many spicy flavours of the Rainbow Nation.
If you don't know how to light a fire properly within the social structure of braaiing, you're never asked to be the central braaier. You will be heckled. It's actually more important to light a good fire than it is to cook, a steak decently.
Duncan Velmagut was born and raised in South Africa and trained as a chef in some of the world's top restaurants before settling in Adelaide and in 2014 opening Africola, bringing the spices and cooking techniques of his homeland to a South Australian audience. For Duncan, the lure of fire and a grill is still hard to resist.
Braai is probably our biggest pastime. Whenever there's sports, family gatherings, we never cook inside, it's always outside. It's a whole day affair.
And what, a series of different food through the day?
Absolutely. Starting off with biltong, our traditional dried meats. After that, generally start with the boerewors, which is a farmer's sausage.
Yeah.
Then we have something like the steaks. But always the last thing at the braai is the potjie.
And that is a beloved pot, isn't it?
It is indeed. It comes from sort of Dutch oven.
That's heavy.
It is. So that you would be cooking for 12, 18 hours.
Gee, that's a lot of food space through the day.
It is. That's why you don't really go to a braai to eat immediately. It's just, it's a South African long lunch, essentially. This is onglet, which is found just off the diaphragm. It's quite lean, it's quite meaty, it's quite gamey. It's quite a strong piece of beef, so with the sweetness and the acidity and the spice, it will balance it quite well. Okay, cardamom, star anise. So literally just crushed. Cool, I'm gonna go to citrus next. So this is the dehydrated citrus.
Which has?
Grapefruit, orange, and lemon. Most of these ingredients are available in the supermarket for sure. Coriander seed, a staple of African cooking. A little bit of chili powder, just roasted chili powder. And then some madras curry. Some dehydrated tomato powder. A little bit of freeze-dried mandarin. And you can buy that at any kind of health food store. So you've got the heat, you've got the sort of floral aroma. This just brings the sweetness. Now, the shallots, just crispy shallots, slice them really thinly, low temperature in oil until they are golden brown. And the reason I put this in the mix is it adds umami flavour, so very savoury.
Great mix.
So with the onglet, it's actually a very, very cheap cut of meat. We just take off the excess fat and sinew. Seasoning always.
It's always the great debate, isn't it? Whether you season it before or...
I season everything before and after.
Right. And you pack them on.
You pack it on.
So that then marinates for how long?
2.5 hours, 3 hours.
2.5 hours room temperature.
Room temperature, yeah, definitely.
What do you love about working with fire?
It's the smoke, the different uses of wood for the different flavours. It's the most natural thing as a cook that you can do. Anyone can just turn their stove on and put a pan down and kind of do stuff on autopilot. You really have to be involved in fire.
The first thing on the fire is the beloved potjie, which cooks South Africa's staple, a polenta-like dish known as pap. It starts with a large slab of butter added to boiling chicken stock, then the ground maize, which is stirred until it's thick. The pap is left to stand and solidify, and Duncan then adds a generous amount of salt.
And you can't have a braai without pap?
No, it's actually sacrilegious. The braai gods would smite you if you ate without pap.
Okay.
Definitely.
And so this has worked its magic.
You can see how it's discoloured the meat a little bit. And something I like to do is when I do any spit roasting, I reserve all the juices and the oils and turn it into a little baste.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. So just a touch.
Oh, that's looking nice.
Yeah.
What's your rule on turning them? Once?
No.
No.
No. So I like to get colour on both sides, and then just keep turning it until we get the sort of rare to medium rare. And the good thing about this, it actually is relatively short cooking time.
Oh. So how do you tell when it's ready, Duncan?
You want it to be ever so slightly firm. The rarer side of medium rare is the perfect way to cook the steak.
It looks fantastic.
Thank you.
Very juicy.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. They seem to have got even more glossy as they've rested.
It is. All the juice is starting to come out of it and almost baste it. Maeve, go for it.
Thanks, Duncan.
Cheers.
That is so tender and delicious.
Thank you very much. Hot cooking, but not too hot. And
That
just turning
is
it.
lovely. It's spicy, and the meat itself is just cuts like butter, doesn't it?
Indeed, indeed.
Okay. South Africa, 1.
Thank you.